You know, flying and driving are two of my favorite things of all time, but trying to drive a semi-truck is tougher than I thought, especially in the dark and bad weather. So hats off to the truck drivers. Hello, folks. Well, there are two things that I really love in life, flying and driving. So in our neck of woods here in the Midwest, RC flying is basically limited to indoor flying or flying the simulators, which I do a lot, and invite you to find me and fly with me on Aerofly sometime. You know, I've been in all kinds of aircraft in my life, and I fly all kinds of aircraft in RC as well. I feel good about it because I really don't crash too often, knock on wood. I have had some mechanical failures, though, that make me look bad, and I've published them, so you know what I'm talking about. Wouldn't hold it. Wouldn't hold it inverted. But besides me flying all kinds of machines, I love to drive. I had several cars and motorcycles as well. So I'm just showing you some of the planes that I flew in and some of the machines and cars that I've had. And I hope you enjoy seeing some of this stuff before we get going in this big semi. I had three 64 MGBs, a Renault Caravelle before I went into the Marine Corps. Well, all of them I paid for myself, I might add. Nobody helped me buy anything back in those days. My very first car was a 1952 Ford convertible. I paid $50 for it, and of course I fixed it all up, even with deuces on top of my 232 cubic inch flathead V8 and a 3-speed. I had a Jaguar XKE 1966 2+2 when I lived in Southern California. Porsches, Mercedes, Hondas, Peugeots, and the exotic cars I had also, as my partner Bill Yates had a Volkswagen Porsche Peugeot dealer in San Juan, so I got a new car to drive every 6 months and didn't have to pay for it. Of course, these used new cars were definitely saving my Jaguar XKE from all the wear and tear I had starting my business. This is when I started my polish business, which is now Adams Polishes. But in all my life, and I'm 75, I never drove a semi-truck. A drunk woman ran into my Buick when I was coming back for the base. The cops had 130 mile per hour combined impact. She died at the scene, and I broke my back. So now I was looking on my latest version on Steam and found it had an update. I updated it, and I just had to try it again. And that is the American Truck Simulator. And I have found that this truck driving is not all that easy, as you're going to see. I also must say that the steering wheel, like my Logitech with feedback, is much like the real thing. Adjusting the sensitivity is easy in the program, as everything is, I'm going to show you. And I had to dial mine down because it's set by default at the highest sensitivity, and I became the jackknife king with that setting. So as you can see, I've had many models and vehicles. We came from a modest family, so I was worked at a job since I was 12 to even pay for my first bicycle. But the point of all this is you'd think I'd have a truck, but I don't, nor have I ever driven a semi. I've driven buses and 6x in the Marine Corps, but never a semi. So even when Scott Rosengarten visited, I rode with him, but I never drove the truck. The closest thing I have today is our 34 Ford dually, which I use mostly for parades. Here's my setup and a few scenes of driving as recorded with shadow play and in terrible weather, just in case any of you want to try truck driving as well. Here we go. This is my setup. So let me show you a few things in my American Truck Simulator. And also, you know, talking about simulators, you got to visit Joe Cerna's channel because he has done the Oculus with some amazing program on the Aerofly full-scale simulator that you got to see. It's really great. Anyway, let me show you what the American Truck Simulator is like, and let's go for a little drive. Well, these are some screenshots of the different settings on the program that you can actually do with your truck. It's quite amazing to me, all the different things. Everything from air brakes to horns, turn signals, you name it. And here's a menu where you can fly online with other drivers and fully interactive with the real guy. And there's a lot driving right now. You can just drive around the country freely, or you can go ahead and take a job as I'm showing here, where I want to drive to and from, how much I'm going to get paid, the whole thing. Quite amazing. So I'm driving in foul weather as usual. So these are just some random shots that I'm showing along the way with a couple of different trucks. So here we go. When you turn the signal on left or right, you can look out the left or right mirror. Otherwise, you can have those two mirrors up on the top that are kind of helpers. Otherwise, you can move around your head and swivel with the mouse like I'm doing right now. I could do anything you want, just like in a real truck. I could turn on the windshield wipers at high and low speed. I can wash the windows. I can roll the window down either side. It's quite an intense little program. Whoops. Well, I'm in the wrong lane to make this turn here, but nobody behind me, so I'm going to go for it. You got to swing wide, you know. You note on the bottom right-hand corner, that screen is the GPS and shows the route that I'm supposed to be driving. I could shut it off because there's a small one on the dash as well. And I'll show you that all in a little bit when I'll shut all that off. Like driving in real life. It's kind of the pits in the rain at night, just in a car, let alone a semi. And you notice I've switched trucks here. Well, it's wet trailers here, so I kind of lost it. I've got the sensitivity too sensitive. I'm going to turn that down. But this is what a jackknife looks like. And dang it, I can't stop it. This is an episode of Bonehead Truckers. Okay, here's where I can turn down the sensitivity and the linearity of the controller. So this works really good, deadens it out good. Okay, I've switched to a little daylight driving now. It's still raining here because in California and it's been raining. Anyway, I've shut off all of the GPS and the mirrors and everything and showing you different views here. I like to drive in this view. God, it's really a bitch when it's foggy. Oh, bull squatchy. Well, it's kind of hard to drive in that view facing backwards. You can see on the GPS I'm close to my destination. Whew. Well, there is a whole docking procedure after I get here that it will ask me to do, but I'm not going to take time to show you that right now. But entails taking it back in the back, unhooking the trailer, and driving away. It's pretty cool also. All right, we made it. Well, thanks a lot for riding along with me tonight. It was quite a trip, that's for sure. Well, I'm pretty worn out after that trip. It took 10 hours to do that. And I just want to say hats off to the truck drivers because you're doing a very good, important job. So take care, and we'll see you next time. This is Night Flyer signing off for now.